Well, it's only been 2 days and we've already got some more Football Manager news. I thought it was going to be a whole week, but they've put out a blog post today. Miles, if you don't know Miles, he's the director of the Sports Interactive who developed Football Manager. Actually, before we do that, after the last video, I forgot. There was also some screenshots. They're available on all the retailers' websites, which show us a little bit more of the game. This is on Fanatical, and if you want to get the game a little bit cheaper, 22% cheaper than on Steam, use code SIMAGIO24 in the link. You have to use the link down below. The link down below in the description. Use that code SIMAGIO24. You'll get it for £35.05, which is much cheaper than it cost on Steam. But these are the screenshots that they showed. This is the in-game engine. You can see it looks a lot nicer. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see the lighting, the grass looks good. I mean, this isn't the year that we're supposed to get the graphical upgrade, so don't expect it to light the world on fire. But I mean, looks better. And you see, obviously, Brighton licensing the game, Man City licensing the game there. The player screen, we've got Jack Grealish. He looks all right, actually. He doesn't look as good as maybe... Is he better than this year? No, it doesn't look... I'm not sure he's as good. But there's actually nothing on this screen which is necessarily new, other than this little bit here. Playing time pathway, actual squad play. Maybe you can get that now, but I can't remember seeing it. But there's nothing else here. So they've not given away a lot in terms of what the new things are. There's no additional roles that are shown here. There's no additional things, traits, anything here. Nothing along the top. None of these tabs, none of the tabs down the side are anything that we've not seen before. So that's something which, you know, looks the same. So they've probably carefully chosen these screenshots. Tactics screen, again, don't see a lot different here. All of these, as far as I can tell, are in the game now. Can't spot any. If you do spot any, let me know down in the description below. In the comments below. So here, we're not really seeing anything that I think we wouldn't already be expecting. Just a few things in terms of the skin, obviously the color. The date up there is a little bit colored. The continue button looks a little bit different, but I mean, these are cosmetic changes. Team information. Interestingly, they don't have Pep's license. He's in the trailer though, right? Yeah, Pep's in the trailer, but they don't have Pep's picture. But that's an unusual choice. But again, nothing new here. This is the final screenshot we got of the training screen. And I think, which one did I see? There was one of these that I saw. I wasn't sure if it existed. Maybe it wasn't this screen. Play from the back. I don't know if that one exists now. I'd have to go back in and check. Oh, match preparation as well. I think that might be new, but it also might not be new. I don't often touch the training. But those are the 5 screenshots. Here, look, you can see there, £35.05. Go get that down in the description below. Now, as for the other things that they announced in this blog, of course, they showed the announcement trailer and a little bit of an update, actually, what they're gonna do through the weeks, and we're gonna cover this as we go along. We've got the release date, so 4 p.m. GMT on the 6th of November, the main game is going to release. Now, that's not the beta release, so a lot of us, if you pre-order, and that includes Fanatical, you will get the game earlier. Miles has said here that it's going to be around 2 weeks earlier, but they can't promise that for the early access. They have to roll it out literally when it's ready, so just be a little bit patient. Don't comment down below when is the beta out, please. Don't do that on any of the videos. No one knows. It's out when it's out. Roughly 2 weeks before the 6th, so the 22nd or 23rd, I'd have to imagine. They are launching on a Monday, which is unusual. All the times are 4 p.m, except for the mobile version, which will be via Netflix this year, by the way. That was confirmed also after the last video. Netflix exclusive for the mobile version. The touch version is only on Nintendo eShop for now, although it does say there will be a further FM24 touch platform information in the coming weeks. So I wonder if the Apple Arcade one is maybe a deal isn't finished yet, or what's going on there, because it was on Apple Arcade last year. So I wonder if that's coming in, or maybe that's going to be via Netflix as well. We'll see. So obviously they've took the feature that they talked about in the summer when they announced also what's happening with FM25 and the Unity engine. That is chaos at the minute, by the way. If you've not seen my other video, go check it out after this one. But the FM24, you can bring over your save from FM23 and hopefully into FM25 as well. So when you load up, when you start a new game, you get an option of load your game from FM23. It's going to load in and you're going to get the FM24 features. You're going to have to do a little bit of tutorial. It will show here, it will show the mission for loading in. It take a little bit longer to load in all your data from your FM23 game. I'm curious if anyone's going to actually do this. This has been a long requested feature. Are you going to go and try and load in your FM23 save and play that for a little bit? Maybe we're only just for the beta. Maybe you've got a save you've been doing forever and you want to carry it over. I'm curious. Maybe it works better for people who don't play as much every year. I'm curious. are you going to go do that in FM24? You can see, of course, here Miles is doing it with Watford because, of course, Miles is. There are a few things that it breaks. It breaks achievements. So you can't get the achievements if you load in a save file, probably because it unlocks them all otherwise. But other than that, I think everything is pretty much there. They're going to add some extra stuff in the coming weeks, different platforms and things. Oh, and also you can't do it on FM mobile. That was the other thing that they said. But otherwise, it should pretty much work as though you're starting a new game, but just with your save file and your players and everything as they were from FM23. Now we actually get some new information here. I thought we were going to have to wait till next week for this, and it does hint that we're going to get a little bit of a sneak peek of this next week. But they talk about new partnerships. So they're announcing one of the partnerships, Transferroom. Now, Transferroom is something, there's a really good TIFO video out there on this if you haven't seen it. It talks about the way in which transfers are changed in the digital age. So obviously, historically, teams used to send a fax and they'd receive faxes back and everything was done by fax, even up until about 3 or 4 years ago. Now, they have this thing called Transferroom. Actually, it's a bit similar to Football Manager. You can list players on a market, players will come in. You have these meetups where agents come and players come and the clubs come and they try and sell players to each other. They talk here that Gyorkas was sold to Victor Gyorkas was sold to Sporting from Coventry as a result of one of these. There's been loads of deals. So Transferroom is one of these tools that teams use, and that tool in particular is going to be the one that is in the game. So they're licensing the game, some kind of arrangement with Football Manager. So it's an online system where clubs can advertise their players that are available to buy and indicate positions and roles that they're interested in purchasing. So this is something that I believe Everton did. They said they went out and said they wanted a certain position, and a number of clubs came back and said, well, we can offer you this player, or agents came in and said, we can offer you this player. It's an interesting new way of doing it, perhaps more similar to a video game in a way, but they're going to add it in the game. And then this is sort of talking about what these new the new intermediaries and offloading features, and they're going to talk more about this next week on September 18th. So we'll see that more next week, and I'll do a video on that next week. Next, Miles addresses the Netflix deal for FM mobile. So if any of you are FM mobile players, of course, they noticed, and there was a bit of backlash over on social media from people who now can't buy the mobile version. If you own Netflix, of course, it's free for you. Actually, there's quite a good selection of Netflix games. You go on your mobile, just type in Netflix games, iOS or Android. If you've got Netflix, there's loads of really good games you can download and play for absolutely free that would normally cost you quite a bit of money. And Netflix has signed up deals to deliver them to you as part of your Netflix package. I think a lot of people didn't realize this was a thing. I noticed it a while ago. Actually, my Netflix is... I cancelled my Netflix. We're rotating the streaming services at the minute, but I might have to get it back to give FM mobile a go. But I think this is quite honest of them. They said the numbers weren't there. The sales have been declining. Obviously, they have the touch version on some mobile devices as well. So in order to make it make financial sense, they've signed a deal with Netflix. I guess the unfortunate side effect of that is it has to be exclusive, and they can't do the version that they sell anymore. But for a lot of people who have Netflix, it's going to help. It's going to increase the player base. We've seen how Game Pass and PlayStation, well, PlayStation isn't the service, but Game Pass, a number of people can access Football Manager through Game Pass now. He talks, in fact, about how they shifted with console their approach. And the final bit's a bit interesting bit, actually. They talked about packaging for the game and how they are trying to lower CO2 emissions in the packaging that they're using, particularly the PC one. I think the PC one now is like a cardboard packaging. I've not seen it for a few years. But the console versions, of course, come in the plastic ones. I've got a console. They're all behind me somewhere, all my console games. So the console versions come in these plastic boxes. They said, unfortunately, they can't do that. Of course, you can always order any of these digitally. Can't say the price will always be the same. Unless you're on PC, go get that Fanatical deal. So they've said they're going to offset all the packaging emissions. I quite like Sports Interactive are normally a pretty socially conscious company, you know, not like some other companies. So yeah, that's what we've got so far from this blog. A whole load of extra information. Of course, those screenshots that came out just after the other day. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got coming next week, and we'll chuck out a video on that as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a clue as to what's coming in FM24. We're not far away now. We're probably just over a month before the beta. That's getting pretty close. Make sure you get that pre-order in down below using that Fanatical link that I've got in the description. And if you want to check out what's going to happen with FM25, there's some big news that's going on at the moment. It's interesting stuff around Unity. Not all of it's good, but I've got a video that sort of outlines some of what's going on right now around the Unity engine. Go check this out.